something to say.
I'm engaged!
Oh, congratulations, and I propose.
Wow. You propose? Okay. You propose?
Yes.
You propose to him.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't propose to you.
Mm-hmm.
Can you do that? Does anyone do that?
Hello everybody, welcome back to Screenstars. I'm here today to bring you my review for the 2022 comedy remake Father of the Bride. A film that is directed by Gary Allazaki and it stars Andy Garcia, Gloria Estefan, Adria Arjona and Diego Boneta. Now the film obviously is a remake of the classic Steve Martin film, which also had a sequel, Father of the Bride Part 2, but that is also a remake as well, the Steve Martin one. So this is a film that's been remade a few times over the years. And it focuses on Andy Garcia's character, Billy Herrera, who is married to the Gloria Estefan character. They're having marriage troubles, and in actual fact they decide to get divorced. And then their daughter, Sophia, returns home and drops the bombshell that she's in fact getting married. And then, well, you know what happens from there. Chaos ensues, wedding organisers, family conflicts, so on and so forth. Right, what are my thoughts on this remake of Father of the Bride? Well, I have to be honest and upfront here. I am actually a really big fan of the Steve Martin films. Actually, I enjoy Father of the Bride and Father of the Bride 2. I've actually done a double review for both them films on the channel some time ago, a couple of years ago probably now. I've got a real soft spot for those films. I just thought Steve Martin was brilliant in them. In fact, everyone was really, really good in those films. And they're very funny and heartwarming films. So I didn't realise that they was doing a remake of this. This one kind of crept up on me. But I thought I would watch it just to see how it stands up, if you like. Now, this film, it's not shockingly bad or anything like that. It's certainly watchable, and there is a certain amount of charm to it. And I'll be brutally honest, at times, it does put a smile on your face. Certainly the last 20-25 minutes, it's all very feel-goody, all that kind of stuff. But in regards to comparing it certainly to the Steve Martin film, it may be unfair to do so, but it is a remake of the same film, if you like. It is a shadow of that film, if I'm being really, really honest. And I think there's a number of reasons for that, a number of choices that they made here in this film, that I think if any of the PC brigade watch this film, they might be really, really happy. For those of these people out there that are fed up with Hollywood demasculinizing people and all this kind of stuff, they might be less pleased with some of the choices they make here. For me, the biggest issue I have with this film is it's just not funny. Say what you want about the original, not the original, but the Steve Martin version. It's funny, and that's mainly down to the comedy stylings of Steve Martin and Martin Short in that film. They are comedy gold, and there are many standout funny moments in that film, quite slapstick stuff that really work. I just didn't get that here with this film. I don't remember laughing out loud. I did smile a couple of times, but as I said, that was mainly due to the charm of the way the film panned out and stuff like that. And at the end of the day, it's a wedding, you know, so the way it portrays the end of the film, it's obviously a feel-good moment. You know, you get lots of speeches, lots of emotional, you know, coming togethers and all this kind of stuff. So it's trying to give you that lovely feel-good moment at the end of the film. I think if it had failed on that front, this film would have been an absolute disaster. Thankfully, it doesn't, and it is certainly watchable, and it will make you feel good when you're watching it and make you smile. But in regards to a comedy, it's very, very tame. And I genuinely can't remember any character that stood out in regards to the comedy. Anybody hoping that they were going to try and recreate the magic of the wedding planner, i.e. Martin Short's performance from the first film and the second one, you're going to be disappointed here. They do have a wedding organiser. It's a woman, which is fine. Very, very cliched. Very predictable stuff. And in actual fact, she's not in it an awful lot, and she takes a back seat for most of the film, which is actually a blessing because she's quite annoying. So that didn't really play a big part of the film. I thought another issue that they made here with this film is in the sense of the Steve Martin film, even though they weren't short of money or anything and he ran his own business and things like that, he wasn't mega rich or anything. Whereas the Andy Garcia character in this film, again, he's not mega rich, but he's very, very well off. He's a self-made man, and he's very happy to pay for his daughter's wedding. The financial side of it is not really a major issue here in this film. You see, now in the Steve Martin film, again, and I know I keep comparing them, the finances side of it was a big problem for the Steve Martin character in that film, and he was constantly at odds with like the rising costs of the wedding and things, and it made for some comedy gold in that film. Again, you didn't get that here in this film. And then you've got the husband-to-be, played by Diego Boneta, and this is, I think, what's going to goad a lot of people watching this film who are sick of like men being demasculinized. Is a very dull character. He has no personality. In fact, I'd even describe him as a bit of a dweeb. He takes her last name at the wedding. Okay, that's quite a modern thing to do. Maybe you could maybe accept that. But he doesn't propose to her. She proposes to him, which we learn very early on in the film. So it's like, push that character to one side and we'll make the lady character front and center. You didn't need to do that. If you look at the Steve Martin one, the daughter and the husband to be, they made a really good pairing. They were a unit. They were as one, and they both worked really, really well in that film. You didn't need to do anything, tweak that really. And I just thought what they kind of did there was a bit naff, if I'm honest. The only real conflict here in the film, well, there's two. The fact that they're getting a divorce, but I mean, immediately, as soon as they announce that they're getting a divorce to each other, and that's a plot line in the film, you know how that's going to end. Doesn't take a genius to figure out how it's going to end. So the only real conflict in the film is the father-in-law, who is even richer than Andy Garcia, which brings a bit of a conflict between them. So there's opportunities here in this film to give us some comedy, and they don't go with it. You've got bachelor parties, you've got bachelorette parties, you've got family gatherings, all this kind of stuff, and rather than any real comedy, all you really get is cringe and conflict. So it's just a hard one to score, really, because I didn't hate the film or dislike it. It's definitely, in my opinion, not even close to the Steve Martin version. But it is certainly a reasonably feel-good movie with some good performances. I actually like the Andy Garcia, Gloria Estefan chemistry between the two of them. I thought that worked really quite well. I've not seen Gloria Estefan in regards to much in the way of acting. I know she's well known, obviously, from a singer from the 80s, but I thought they had great chemistry. And I thought Andy Garcia did a good job of fronting this film, but he's not a comedy actor or anything, really. He tries his best, I suppose, and he was one of the producers. I think he was executive producer, so he obviously had something invested in this film. Did it really work? Not really, but I think it picked up. I think the first 20-25 minutes of the film, I was really worried about this film. I just thought it was unfunny with pretty poor characters. And it just didn't hit it for me at all. But as I got used to the characters and I got to know them a little bit better, it started to grow on me a little bit. So with that in mind, I'm going to give this one a 5 out of 10. Not a brilliant score, I know, but it would have been far less than that if it wasn't for like the last 25 minutes where it kind of left me in quite a good mood by the end of the film, because it was a nice feel-good ending to the film. But those of you who are really super fans of the Steve Martin film or films, don't bother with this one. This is definitely not going to replace that one. But it is a modern take on the story, I suppose that's fair to say. So I hope you enjoyed this review. Thank you very much for watching, everybody. I'll be back with more reviews and content on the channel very, very soon.